Versatile Mage. Chapter 348. She's a broken and I'm a siskin. Which jerk dares to kick me into the water? I'll crush you. It's that guy in the black shirt. It's him. Sisters, let's peel his skin off. Teach him that the prettiest three sisters of Zhejiang Institute are not someone he would want to mess with. The girl with the mid-split, who had turned into a crazy woman, totally ignored the icy water and started showing her stars. The girl called Chen Yunqi was even crazier. A star pattern was drawn slowly under her feet. However, her body shivered from the cold, and following a sneeze, it instantly interrupted the casting of the magic, leaving her really angry. Bitches like you who only know how to abuse people with words dare to fight against me. The man wearing the black shirt whistled and stared at the wet clothing on the girls. One has a thick waist, one a flat chest, and one with wide-opened legs. I'm not surprised that you would be jealous of the others. The three girls went crazy when the shameless man pointed out the parts that they were embarrassed of. They totally forgot about the rules where the students were not allowed to duel outside of the training grounds and summoned their nebula and star patterns. Lightning strike. Electric field. Mo Fan adeptly cast the lightning magic. Dense lightning arcs sprang forward following his wave. The lightning arcs flew through the air, a few of them spreading rapidly across the ground. The lightning arcs soon formed an electric field with a circumference of 20 meters around the girls. The lightning arcs cracked rapidly as they were conducted toward the girls. The water made it easier to conduct electricity. The basic level spells they finally managed to cast were shattered instantly. They began to dance wildly as if they were in a fire pit from the shocks. Their hair was scorched black while their wet clothes were toasted dry. The girls that were relatively good looking a few moments ago now looked uglier than ghouls. Mo Fan had already controlled the power of the lightning strike to avoid inflicting any damage to them. Otherwise, he could guarantee that they would have had an even greater time. The lightning strike. Lu Yilan was startled. Chen Yunqi was an intermediate magician, and the other two girls were not weak either, halfway into the intermediate level. However, not only had their opponent managed to cast his magic way earlier, they could not even do anything against a mere basic spell. The magician using the lightning strike clearly knew how to control his energy, only trying to teach them a lesson instead of hurting them. The passersby burst into laughter when they saw the miserable appearance of the girls. You just wait. Tell us your name if you have the guts. I, Chen Yunqi, will definitely make you pay. Chen Yunqi burst out cursing while coughing up smoke. The man in the black shirt blurted out with an evil grin, I'm one that has never bothered using a false identity, Shenming Shao from Pearl Institute. Shenming Shao, very well, you shall wait. Chen Yunqi quickly left after uttering the threat. As a woman, she still wanted to protect her own image. The trio did not want to stay any further and be the crowd's laughing stock. The man in the black shirt chuckled when he saw the three girls fleeing. He went up to Xinxia. On the wheelchair, Xinxia, whose eyes were glistening, had her mouth slightly open. Her face was filled with joy and surprise. Soon, her eyes turned wet and red. Following a blink, her eyelashes were soaked with tears. Stupid girl, what are you crying for? Didn't I tell you that I'm still alive? Mo Fan stood in front of Xinxia with his hands in his pockets. He half bent forward while staring at Xinxia's cheeks, as if he were acting cool. However, when he saw her tears bursting out from her eyes, he panicked and drew out his hands. His fingers swiped across her chubby face to get rid of the tears rolling down her cheeks. Xinxia could not hold her tears when she heard the words. She opened her arms and wrapped around Mo Fan's neck, sticking her face close to his. Mo Fan was slightly startled. He could feel the tenderness and the heat from the girl's face. His heart, which was still feeling rather indifferent, immediately melted. His squinted eyes showed how relieved he felt, while his mouth, which usually portrayed arrogance and evil intentions, slowly curled upward into a relieved smile. A girl sitting on a wheelchair and a boy half bending forward while enjoying the hug. The crowd, despite its number, had somehow turned into the background together with the path with trees lined up on both sides. It was a peaceful afternoon, with steady and gentle breathing, and tears of joy. Do you still remember the story I told you? Once upon a time, a king had 2 daughters. They were born pretty and had a unique ability. Their tears would turn into pearls instantly. The king then let her eldest daughter marry a prince from another kingdom. The prince always hurt her, thus making her cry. The pearls she made were enough to wrap around the earth twice. The younger daughter married a farmer. The king was confused, as a single drop of tears could let them live a luxurious life, but they stayed poor instead. However, the king soon realized that the farmer was not willing to let his daughter shed a single drop of tears. The king said to the farmer with relief, "You're a good husband, unlike the other prince who only cared about producing more pearls with his daughter's tears." Mo Fan slowly told the classic story. Xinxia nodded heavily. She had already heard the story before, and not just once. Her heart rippled as she blushed slightly. Did Mo Fan just hint that they were like husband and wife? The farmer fell silent for a moment hearing the king's words, before he blurted out. Mo Fan saw there were still tears on Xinxia's cheeks, thus he pretended to be the farmer and said, "My king, I bet you've forgotten. She is only fond of me after she went blind." Hearing this, Xinxia instantly felt the atmosphere crumbling. She clenched her little fists and threw punches at Mo Fan's shoulder. This asshole is trying to destroy the fairy tales again. Most of them have already fallen victim to his hands. Can't he just finish them with a happy ending? However, when she recalled Mo Fan's tone as he mimicked the farmer, she burst into tears of joy instead. Thanks to this jerk for brainwashing her with dark fairy tales. Somehow, she would even laugh at such a bad punchline. "Xinxia, is this your brother that you mentioned before?" "Hi, I'm Lu Yilan, nice to meet you." Lu Yilan was never satisfied with just being a bystander. He soon went up to the two. Mo Fan turned around at the hypocrite Lu Yilan and snapped, "Didn't you know it's impolite to disturb a couple making a public display of affection?" Public display of affection? Lu Yilan was stunned, before he asked in a surprised tone, "Aren't you 2 siblings? She's a broken, and I'm a siskin, you have a problem with that?" Said Mo Fan. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.